I work for 247sports.com. My focus is obviously covering the University of Tennessee. I focus on recruiting and football. Recruiting is kind of my main focus year-round, and then during football season, during spring practice, anything going on campus, I also help out with football coverage. I've been with 24/7 since almost the launch of the site. We started back in 2010, and I launched the GoVols247.com site, the Tennessee site, on I guess it was December 30th, 2010, the same day Tennessee played in the Music City Bowl against North Carolina several years ago. It's been very successful. We're one of the 5 largest sites in the 24/7 Sports Network. Got off to a very fast start with the help of a partnership with the Knoxville News Sentinel. So it's been a pretty successful venture so far, and we've recently expanded our staff as a result of that. Well, I think part of it's just working hard, working constantly. It's the name kind of speaks for itself. It's 24/7, but it's the business. It's a website. There's always something going on. You've got to constantly be on top of breaking news. You got to be interactive. Message board is a big part of what we do, so you've got to interact with people on a regular basis. So a lot of that, I think, is just the hard work we put in to make sure we're keeping people up to date all the time on what's going on. A lot of the same ways, I think, just kind of hard work. I don't know that. I'm sure on some level, maybe natural talent. There's something there, maybe, but I think mostly just working hard. While I was in school at UT, a lot of great opportunities at UT to work around UT football and be around a big time beat like that, and kind of get to know the business inside out. And that helped me. I worked for the Tennessean while I was in school. That was a great experience. Worked for the Daily Beacon, WUTK, all of those things. So to have that kind of experience while I was in school, and then just constantly working my way up, it really paid off. I think the hard work I put in along the way. Recruiting really has changed so much. Social media was kind of a big deal when I first started, but it's taken on so much more of an impact in recruiting these days. We see it with coaches retweeting things that prospects are saying throughout the process. We see it with players announcing their own decisions, which has been a challenge for our industry to deal with. Players a lot of times break their own news these days, so it's even more challenging to kind of be on top of things and report things before they happen in a lot of cases. So that's been a big thing. In social media, it happens so fast. Players put out top 5 lists of who they're considering and things like that, and they're kind of their own news source. So it challenges you to be your own news source in addition to what those players are putting out themselves. Very unpredictable, as you might imagine, with the internet. There's constantly something going on. It could be, if it's a slow day, it could be something as simple as a tweet that was put out that could be newsworthy that we've got to react to. If it's a typical day on campus covering practice, it might involve covering practice and writing a ton of stories out of that. And if it's a day during the off season, there's all kinds of recruiting news. So each day is kind of different. Each part of the calendar year is kind of different. But there's always something going on, and so it's really amazing. There isn't much of an off season these days. Even during May, June, some of the months that look like they're down, they're very busy for recruiting and other things like that. I had the chance to cover Pat Summitt for 2.5 years as a student stringer for the Tennessean, and following that beat was very rewarding. Getting to see that team win a couple national titles and covering Candace Parker and those teams was a lot of fun. But I think the stranger stories are the ones that stand out to you. I think when I was a student, seeing LSU postpone its home game against Tennessee back in 2005 because of Hurricane Rita, and the reaction to that. I wrote a column about the reaction to that, a column that drew some negative reaction in Baton Rouge and things like that. So there are all kinds of stories like that you learn along the way. So it's the things like that that probably stand out, and then just some strange stories in recruiting that happen sometimes. A player announced a commitment one time that wasn't actually a commitment, so you have stories like that kind of stand out. But that's a tough one. There's any number of strange stories I've covered over the years. I've always said my main goal is to just keep doing something I have fun with. The job changes so much. I knew. Being 3 years into the field 3.5 maybe into the field when I got into the website business, I didn't see it happening that soon for me. I knew newspapers were struggling, and newspapers was what I started off in, but I didn't know exactly where the field was going to take me, but I knew technology would be a part of it at some point. And things have changed so much technology-wise since then, so I didn't envision it being website-oriented this early on, but my main objective was to keep doing something that I enjoyed, and whether that's working on websites continuously or some sort of other publication, anything that I consider a fun and rewarding job. Not so much to me about making a big name for myself and being on TV or anything like that. It's more just about doing something that's rewarding for me on a day-to-day basis and something that I want to continue doing. The main thing is just to work for every opportunity that's out there. You know, I heard so many people tell me along the way while I was in school, and that this was before obviously a lot of social media even existed, but to cross-train yourself in as many different kinds of media as possible. So I took every chance I could get to work in radio, to work in print, and those were my main focuses. I wish along the way I'd gotten even more TV work, but I took a TV class or two to get some experience in that. So to cross-train yourself, get as much experience in that stuff as possible, and take advantage of the opportunities you have. A campus like UT provides so many chances to work, especially if you're in sports like I was, to be around big-time sports and kind of get to know the industry as a student. And that was an invaluable opportunity for me. It provided tons of great media connections that I used to get jobs and still maintain to this day. Relationships have really paid off.